Yeah. So you actually started like a roofing business, like
Yeah,
early?
so I opened a construction company and a roofing company when I was 22 years old.
That's
And
fire, yo. Like, yo, right there. Yo, starting a construction company and a roofing at 22 years old, man.
yeah,
Like, man, like, congrats to you, man. Like, cause like
thank you.
that's a like a huge fucking step at 22 years old. Like,
It is, man.
like for me, like I was fucking, I was just trying to like slap asses and fucking get drunk, you know?
I, you know, I struggled. We all have things we struggle with.
Yeah,
Come on, we all have them.
for sure.
I struggled with reading and writing, and it was one
Yeah,
of my biggest problems. I
me
could
too.
do math, I could do a lot of things, but reading and writing was one of my things I struggled with. And I think maybe that's why I maybe wrote things down so I could say things after thinking them properly, thinking them through. But the thing is that I spent, I believe it was, I don't want to admit it, but I was there for 5 years in high school and I never passed and I failed. And I dropped out and I wrote my GED and I failed that as well.
Yeah,
And
it's all part of the journey, you know?
it is. And I ended up studying with my mom to write these books. These books I had to buy were like $500 from Mohawk College, and they were pretty expensive. And I ended up having to write this test. I studied for like 8 months with my mom, studying these books, learning they're the building code for residential and commercial resident building and repair to be a contractor.
Yeah,
Anyways, long story short, I studied, finally worked up the courage, $1,200 to write the test, and they only do it twice a year. So if you fail it, you miss the whole season.
right.
Also, you have to have proof of insurance to write the test, and if you get the insurance, you have to get it by yearly. They ain't gonna give you insurance for a day, so you got to pay for all that. So I'm thinking
Yeah,
like
so you have to buy the insurance, and if you fail, you're like, shit,
I'm
I
out.
got.
I'm probably out $2,600 just to write the test.
Yeah,
And there's no guarantee and there's no refund. And I studied for it. I finally worked up the courage. I went down there and I found out it was an open book test. And I studied as if it wasn't.
yeah,
So you can imagine, I ended up getting 93%,
yeah,
and anything over 85, you get your master's. So I
yeah.
got my master contractor's license at 22 years old, and by 23 years old, I bought my first home, and I turned it all around.
Man, that's an amazing thing, man. That's an amazing thing.
Thank you, man.